All right. Now that the election is over, can we ponder on how the Republican managed to win the election? Excuse my word, managed. How the Republican won the election. Now, coming from an observant from Africa, Nigeria to be precise, who followed up mostly through social media, like the YouTube and X. Now, my observation is that, let me start with the Republicans. Donald Trump's election, I was able to relate to Donald Trump election because of one, his stance hasn't changed over time since the day one of the election up until the last day of his rally. His stance has always been the same. He campaigned based on policy. When I get in, I will do this, drill, baby drill. So that was one of the things he said. And he said that he's going to be a dictator for one day, which the legacy media blew out of proportion. Now, what he meant by that is he's going to send the illegal aliens, as he called them, back to their home country. He's going to do a lot of things. So when you mention Donald Trump to a bystander, even here in Africa, they will tell you that, oh, this is what Donald Trump is going to do. Now, the Democrats, what I observed is that Kamala was unable to distinguish herself from the Biden's led leadership for the past 4 years. She neither denied nor accepted that she played a part in the leadership. Another thing, the legacy media didn't help. For example, when I go to MNBC, I hope I got that right, and I listen to them talk. I go to CNN and I listen to them speak. I go to ABC News and I listen to them speak. The View, I listen to them speak. I'll be like, oh, this Donald Trump guy is a brat. Come on, what is this person? Why is American people going after him? Then I go and do my research. And I discover that 90% of what these legacy media are saying are either blown out of proportion or they are not even saying the right thing at all. At the beginning, I mentioned dictatorship. And what he said about the dictatorship stuff and what the legacy media are saying is just like me saying that I want to fly. And someone now start calling me an aeroplane. There are two different things. Two different things entirely. So, and now that was now made me as a person, which I believe most of American people did, was that they now stop listening to what the legacy media says. Because when you go to the media to get your information, and what they are telling you, like, I've forgotten the last one that Trump said, he will line her up and shoot her. Let's see whether she will not be a war monger or something like that. Now, the legacy media now is pushing it that Donald Trump is calling for the assassination of such individual. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is saying that if Donald Trump is inferring that if the person is placed at that war front, that she is trying to, let's send the troops in, that if you are the one, I don't know why I'm doing my hands like that, if you are the one, that how will you feel? You will not be able to do that because you sit on the comfort of your home and you are counting for the troops to be sent in. Meanwhile, you can't send your children, you can't even go yourself to the war front to do that. That was the insinuation that Donald Trump meant. But the legacy media turns it around. So I believe that the legacy media, the celebrity endorsements, and Kamala shying away from the public? Because I don't think she ever had, the only one interview she had with CNN, I've forgotten the anchor, backfired. Even the guy that interviewed him came out to try to explain himself. Because people were like, why would you go and ask her such questions? But these are the questions that she was meant to answer. If you have been in the office as a vice for the past 4 years and things haven't been going through, still doing my hands like that, and things hasn't been going through, and I'm now asking you that what role did you play in such a thing not happening, or such a thing happening? And your people are now coming out to tell us that, oh, you shouldn't have asked that question, you should have thrown a softball questions. Meanwhile, your opponents, your opposition, is now going to medias, going to podcasts, having 3 hours unscripted interviews, unscripted comments, so unscripted conversations between a popular podcaster. That's I would tend to go with, compared to the one that you are reading from the teleprompter. So I believe that Kamala lost because she didn't express herself to the public. She didn't sell herself well, let me put it that way. Despite the fact that she raised more than $1 billion, she didn't express herself well. Donald Trump was able to win, not because of his character, but because of what he has been saying. Donald Trump, right from day one, said that I will do this. The last day, even in his acceptance speech, he still made his own comment. Kamala started with this, and by the time she got to this, she had changed. Even there was a time, I think 3 or 4 days ago, that in the same city where you have 2 different groups, 2 different ads were played to those 2 different groups. What are you trying to cooperate? Forgetting that we have a social media where those people can come in and see what you are telling them. And I want to thank Elon Musk, because I believe 2020 Twitter was so bad that you can't even air your view. It becomes an offense for you to air your view. Now, Elon Musk was able to now present a playing field for everybody. That was even where I got most of my knowledge from. You can't go on Twitter, so you can't go on YouTube. Like, look at this podcast with Rogan that Donald Trump had. I had to link, I think it was from Elon Musk or from Donald Trump's account. I forgot where I got the link from, that sent me direct to the YouTube something that I was looking for, because I searched for it and I was getting reactions. I don't want to get a reaction. I want to hear from the horse's mouth. One thing people need to understand is that, because this happened to us in Nigeria, our former president ran a campaign based on promises. I'm going to eradicate this, I'm going to develop this, I'm going to do this. But apparently enough, none of those promises came out from his mouth. He never said anything in that regard. And we, being foolish enough, was running after those because he was speaking direct to us. But when we held him accountable for it, he came out plainly and said, I never promised such a thing. I don't know whether we understand where this is heading to. He said, I never promised such a thing. The same thing happened to this current administration that we're passing through. We didn't hear much from the horse's mouth. We were hearing from so many other people. No. Election campaign should be direct from the horse's mouth. Look at America now. Let's say in the next 4 years, 2028, and you are now holding responsible Donald Trump. You said that you are going to do this. I didn't say go to Twitter, bring out the evidence. This is what you said. Go to YouTube, bring out the evidence. This is what you said. There is no way for him to deny it. Now, why didn't you implement this? But look at Kamala Obama spoke more than she did. Obama was even carrying the campaign on his head. I don't understand. You finished your politics 8 years ago, your presidency 8 years ago. Why are you still coming out to campaign? Because that never helped her. And I don't know whether the same thing is applicable to those that voted. Because for me, I prefer hearing from the horse's mouth to know who I'm going to vote for. I don't want you to come and tell me that Kamala will do this, Kamala will. How do you know? Did she tell you? And if she's telling you that, why hasn't she come out openly and said the same thing to us? And convince us that this is the reason why you should vote for me. And lastly, the Democrats never contributed well to the policy. Because if I come, because what I saw is, when someone said that I'm a Republican, they started throwing shade towards me. That's not how to win on opponents. Bring the policies of your candidate. I'll table the policies of my candidate. You as a Democrat, you want me to vote for a Democrat, right? Now convince me. Why will I vote for such a person? Instead of calling me names and throwing shade towards me, convince me. Talk to me. Thanks, and I hope this clarifies from my point of view what I mean. Please like, subscribe somewhere around here. Subscribe, please. Help me get to 1,000. Thank you.